What's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here, back with another video. Today we're going to be getting into my Spectral Helix Deadeye I made for 3.18 and pretty much just made a few simple changes to make it work for 3.19. Nothing was really changed other than the passive tree and spell suppression, most notably. I changed the passive tree just a little bit to account for the mana reservation efficiency changes. We have a new Anoint. But other than that, the build's pretty much exactly the same as it was last league. So it's going to be another top tier contender. I think it's probably the best, in my opinion, the best league start you could possibly choose, because it has insane mapping, it has insane bossing potential, and then this build can later be changed into a different build, which is something that's really cool. If you choose the Deadeye, you can turn it into a Omni, whatever tornado shot build that you want, or you can go Omni Spectral Helix still, or you can switch to Raider, go Lightning Strike, and play through that play style and juice. So Spectral Helix is a really good starting point, but in 3.18 I ending up with this build as my final build and just carrying it through all my bossing needs, and then I made a separate bow character for mapping. So Spectral Helix can do all the bosses in the games, no problem. The Uber, it is a little bit longer of a fight because our DPS isn't insane, but we have a lot of survivability, we have a lot of leech, life gained on hit. So as long as we're doing a little bit of damage, which Spectral Helix, when we cast it once, it stays around for a little bit, so we can easily sustain our life, and with enough, well, we can easily cap spell suppression, and we have a little bit of block, so we do have some defensive layers. I have played this in hardcore previously, and it works out pretty well. You'd probably want to go something like champion, honestly, because why wouldn't you choose champion? But in hardcore, because just fortification. But otherwise, I believe Deadeye is the more favorable ascendancy for softcore players, and it has a lot of damage scaling, tailwind. It just feels really smooth out of the box. So all the gameplay you were seeing before is 3.18 gameplay, and that's pretty much going to stay the same for 3.19. So you guys can look forward to have a playstyle like that. I do have an MTX on, by the way, so some of it looks cooler. Pay to win. But other than that, we're going to be getting into our gear. I'm going to mostly explain the differences between what you should expect in 3.19. 3.19, the biggest change is spell suppression on gear is pretty much halved. I don't know the exact number, but it's getting, you can say, about half. So I have it on 3 pieces of gear right now, but what we're going to be doing is taking this spell suppression wheel, and this will give us a lot of spell suppression. The numbers on these are actually going to be, I think we're getting 3% more on this node, and then I think that's about it. But then we're getting like 2% more on this node and trench. So we have a little bit more to work with on our passive tree, so we're going to be taking that for now on. You can see the POB. The link's going to be down in the description. I can actually show you. I believe I have it up still. Let me change displays. So this is the POB I'm currently working on. So as you can see, we go down this right side now, and the numbers haven't changed on POB yet for me, but we're going to be taking these nodes, and then we're going to be taking a few more masteries as well. I did reroute the passive tree a little bit. Like, we no longer go all the way up to influence because whatever, like, it didn't feel as great going all the way up there to get that. So we ended up just grabbing a few more nodes and masteries to make up for the differences, and I think it feels a little bit better. You can honestly play the 3.18 and it will, if you like the passive tree for there, you can copy that. That'll definitely work. One of the biggest changes actually is that we are now anointing sovereignty because of the mana reservation efficiency changes. RMR. I should just start saying RMR. Another thing that's going to need to be changed is for the helmet roll, reduced mana cost of attacks. Definitely still need that on because that is a Searing Exile roll. But the Eater of Worlds, you can actually roll RMR, reduced mana reservation, on your helmet, and you can get, I think 12% is the highest. You can easily get 10%, and I think 10% is all you're going to need for this build to feel really good. So if you get that RMR in the helmet and anoint sovereignty, you're pretty much good. Nothing changes. No gem changes. No gem swaps from last league. So easy enough. Other than that, we're just going to go over the gear, the normal gear. So we get trigger focus on our helmet, so we can proc Onslaught, Hydrosphere, and Tornado. Hydrosphere makes it so they are exposed, so we get more damage pen. Tornado to proc the Onslaught constantly. Then we have our Spectral Helix. We have a Weathering Step on, you can put it on left click and just have it constantly up just to gain your elusive, because if you don't know, Nightblade is the most broken support gem in the game. We have Determination, Grace, and Wrath on an Enlightened support. You'll take off Wrath and put Herald of Thunder, I believe, on if you can't fit Enlighten. I'm going to post the leveling, when you just hit maps and you don't have Enlighten. I'm going to post that, and then I'm going to post this POB where we do have everything. So this is all obtainable week 1 if you play a lot, week 2 probably. So I want to make sure I have that laid out, because usually I would only put the first 5 days what the POB would look like. I'm trying to put week 2 kind of stuff nowadays. So other than that, we have Assassin's Mark and all that good stuff. I don't want to show you this passive tree because I don't like that passive tree anymore, but this is the passive tree we're going with now. So as I said, we got the spell wheel. We got some mark stuff because we get good damage from marks, and we constantly mark enemies with mark on hit, and then it transfers to other enemies when we die. So we get it while mapping and on bosses. So it's a really good layer of damage and a little bit of defense, I believe. And we get frenzy charges based on our marks. We're going to go over the ascendancy really quick. So first you take Gathering Winds, free Tailwind. How could you not want it? And then Far Shot is actually very underrated. If you don't know how it works, Far Shot, you get 60% more damage, and that's a more damage multiplier, which is absolutely insane. Think of a support gem where Conk Effect you're getting 42% more damage. This you're getting 60% with no with the downside of if you hit a nearby enemy. But the way Spectral Helix works is pretty much instantly in one rotation you're pretty much almost at max projectile distance. Just the way it rotates, you get some huge damage, so you don't really have to worry about trying to make it hit at the very end. You can just make it hit it so it rotates around you once, and you're pretty much getting most of that more damage multiplier. Focal point, insane, sustain our marks just very easily. And then Windward is really good for our defensive layer. Honestly, this could be changed for something if anything else was better, but I think Windward is sufficient enough because we get some good defensive layers. It helps us with bossing. There are a few things on the passive tree, I forgot to mention, that you can change if you want to do more, if you want to be better at mapping. I would suggest grabbing maybe some frenzy charges. So grab frenzy charge here and frenzy charge here. It'll make it mapping a little bit smoother. And if you want to get tankier, you can definitely take some nodes off and go up here and grab these life nodes. Or if you want more damage, Fangs of Frost, very strong. I highly recommend taking that if you can. And yeah, so there's a few things you can travel to if you really want to. If you don't have ailment avoidance, you can grab it here. But I naturally have ailment avoidance on my build already. As you can see from I have it on my shield, 35% chance to avoid. I took it off my body armor, but I did have it on my body armor. And then you can get jewels that have ailment avoidance on it, and boots that have ailment avoidance on them. So if you get all of those, you can be ailment avoidance checked off, and then you don't have to worry about having freeze immune or shock immune or any of that stuff on your flasks anymore. So that's very helpful for mapping and bossing alike. And that's pretty much it, all I had for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I went kind of faster over everything. I'm expecting some of you guys to have a little bit of knowledge on Path of Exile. If you have zero knowledge of Path of Exile, I'm sorry. I have a link down below to my 3.18 guide. I do go over everything a lot more slowly and explain each and everything about the build. But other than that, the best way to learn is just download the POB, copy what I have. It should work. If it doesn't work, leave a comment down below. I'll answer you probably the same day you leave that comment. I read all of them. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.